You probably remember a rather big campaign for the Enya Nova Sonic Go, I think it was called. White and black guitars with a built-in speaker, 2 humbuckers, all kind of one composite material. A different idea of a guitar. And I liked it because I thought for a beginner, pretty damn great, because it's all in one. You don't have to buy an amp and all that stuff. And if you find out after a few months you're going to stick with it, get an amp and so on and so on. Also headphone out. Now, I don't want to say developed it further, which is what they are saying. I'm going to say this is the next version. Slightly different version because we got an HSS configuration, so humbucker, single coil, if you are new to the guitar. And we're going to take this baby through its paces. So what is it? Well, before we can determine that, we're going to have to take it out of the box and see how it comes, right?
In my mind, and I like the final piece, lost it on the way, a price I have to pay. Gotta read between the lines, there is no rest and no release till I sold the case. Gotta save my face. Major flaw, sneaking in my car, and they'll catch me from behind for my absence without leave. They will come when we're asleep, but I don't care. 'Cause tonight we belong. Now we live, not just survive. Thinking time.
Well, on the surface, it's a normal guitar. Plug in a cable, 5-position switch, volume, going into something that would resemble an amplifier, like this Imperial pedal from Tone King, 2 powered with IR out, which is what you're hearing. Let's get some product shots and listen to it right away. So this guitar has many uses. It can be played by itself with a built-in speaker for practice, for writing songs, for jamming with the friends in the garden or in the park or on a plane, train, automobile, whatever, you'll be annoying people. So you can, with the built-in sounds for presets, got a built-in modeler, play with the built-in speaker. You could also use the headphone out. You can also pump Bluetooth audio into it and therefore jam with the track on the guitar. You could, I think it's got OTC, so you could actually probably record with the USB-C to a pocket camera or something like this and use it as an audio interface, for example. So already lots of information and lots of possibilities. Use the speaker, use the headphones, use the USB. It is always going to be these pickups going through the pickup selector, going through the volume, and then into the modeler and out of these places. Or you don't have the modeler on, as I have right now, and you just use a standard guitar cable and go into a standard guitar amplifier or a preamp pedal like I have on the table. I was going to say, I have on the cab here, this is a Tone King Imperial Tube preamp into the Tone X cab, which is actually a great combination. So you could use that, but you could also turn the modeler on and plug it into an audio interface and record with the modeler directly with the cable. So headphone, cable, or OTC with the USB. The guitar is a bit different. Humbucker single coil. It looks like it's got a pickguard on it, which I think is just part of the shape. I don't think you can take that off, but maybe you can. I can't. It's got a trim that works okay-ish, and it is all one piece. It looks like a neck through, but this is all a composite material. I think it's molded. We have non-locking tuners, slightly angled headstock, and all these little dots here is simply where screws are hidden. So I think it probably has the pickguard secured with a couple of screws. And here is, of course, where the speaker and the little built-in amp is. You can access the tram cavity right here. With a little tool, you can actually tighten the trim if you wanted to, because we have a one screw that takes the spring plate in this direction. So we have a lot of stuff to go through. Let's check it out with the built-in modeler plugged in with a cable into my audio interface and jamming with my good friend Tom James from Elevated Jam Tracks. Yeah, we had some bum notes in there. Guitar wasn't perfectly in tune. It's still finding its way. So we have to check it out in the room, what that sounds like. We have to check it out plugged in, check out the presets. We have to check out the app, which did connect really fast. However, the screen recording did not update. So what I was seeing on my phone wasn't what the screen recording was recording. So I don't know if that's an Apple issue or an Enya app issue. I usually don't have issues like that. So I'm thinking there's something with the Enya app that's blocking the screen recording. Also in the app, it's very rudimentary. You've got 2 amps, couple of pedals, and even finding out how to turn the pedals on and off, not great. It's a very, very basic modeler, but that's fine. It is supposed to be a basic guitar in that sense. What else do we have to say? We have these nice side markers. We have, of course, side dots. We have a 0 fret for those that care and know about guitars. I like the playability. It's a rather fast neck. Great setup. There's nothing in the way. As an instrument, I have zero issues with it. So let's check it out in the room, for which I turn it on. When you push this button, it will go through the 4 different presets. Yeah, it's green, it's blue, it's the tiniest bit of different blue. It's just not smart. Okay, and then green. We're recording it in the room here because that's the most authentic in the room sound with an AEA, it's difficult to say, AEA R88A. It's a stereo ribbon mic of the highest quality, and that actually gets you a real room recording. So here's a clean. And that's really as loud as it gets. It's not very loud because they have to be careful. If it gets a lot louder, the speaker, which is internal right here, right, will feedback. It will make the strings ring. The strings then go in. It's a whole feedback loop. Tuning is a bit of a bitch. So it's not super loud, but it's much better than having a dry electric guitar, which is the whole idea. For practice, this is great. Or jam with a friend. And of course, the pickup combinations will have effect. Next one. Blue and the other blue. And then we have a high gain lead sound. They were really conservative with the volume. This, by the way, is the volume for the speaker. Because they wanted to avoid the feedbacking that we had on the previous model. So that works okay. It's not brilliant, neither are the modeling sounds, but it's totally fine for what it's supposed to be. An affordable, all-in-one guitar that serves a bunch of different purposes when it comes to connectivity, and you don't need an amp and all that stuff. So let's check it out plugged in with those presets. Okay, before we get into the app, and you can't do much in there. There are a couple of other presets that you can load onto the 4 different slots, but let's check it out with an actual guitar. None of the modeling, going into an actual tube preamp and recording that. It does come with a decent gig bag, which you can see there. It's okay for the money. That's fine to go to your lesson. And there's Footswitch, which the Footswitch. This is the Footswitch, which for presets. The Footswitch, which switches between the 4 presets. The Footswitch, which switches between the 4 presets. Right? So you turn this on, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, clean, blue, other blue, and then high gain. It's supposed to be paired right from the factory. It's not, which is why this is lighting up. And I followed the manual. I cannot make it pair. It's supposed to be paired. That's a fruit. But it's not. I can't make it work. It might need more charge. That's possible, that I have to fully charge it. It's been sitting in the gig bag for a while, so I can't show you. But the functionality is 4 presets. And that's cool that that's wireless and comes with it. But you could play this at a wedding gig. I mean, honestly, at a gig where nobody listens to you anyway in your background music, put the 4 sounds on there in terms of gain and, effects that work for you. Throw this on the floor. It's a comfortable guitar. It's not very, very heavy. This is a decent solution for those types of gigs, I think, especially given the fact that there's a wireless foot switch, if you can connect it. I'm going to turn this off. And here we are in the Tone King preamp. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, this is also the volume? Then what is this? That's the volume, but then that's the master volume? That's kind of weird. I tell you one thing, my first guitar was a lot worse than this. Playability, this is all cool. Realistically, what the kids will be doing with this This is not a horrible guitar in any way. It plays fine. It's got a decent trem actually. We're still kind of in tune. Let's look at the app, which isn't super complex. You have what I couldn't show you because the screen record wasn't working. There's a little mixer in there where you can say how loud this is, how loud the guitar is, and the Bluetooth. It's just a mixer for all the incoming and outgoing signals. So let's check that out. So, bottom line, who is this guitar for? I would strongly suggest it is for the beginner guitar player. People hate it when I say it's for beginners because you want to buy it and you're not a beginner, and you feel attacked when I call you a beginner. We'll get to that. It is also for the beginner guitar player who doesn't have the big budget to buy effects pedals and an amp and a modeler and don't even know what a modeler is and all that stuff, you could buy this and have a Footswitch, have a gig bag, go to practice, and for the beginning, you got everything that you need. You know, you can absolutely sit in your room, play, you can jam to practice tracks with Bluetooth, right? You could have everything and not annoy the neighbors. This totally works. And so on. That's the kind of stuff you likely be playing, or actually, like, you know. I don't even know how that song goes anymore. Or you do. You have to play with your fingers. You know, that kind of stuff. And it's great for that. So for the beginner, highly recommend it, because once you find out you want an amp, you want a modeler, this guitar will still work in other scenarios. For the person that wants a guitar for the go, in the office, just, you know, quickly in your lunch break, jam a bit. I don't see any problems with that. Headphones, great. A little guitar to have a little memory bank when you have an idea, I quickly want to record that. Well, feed that into your computer, USB-C, BAM, whatever. Works. I see many uses for that. Is it a fully fledged real electric guitar? It is and it isn't, but it's not a bad instrument at all. I think it serves a bunch of purposes. Well, I think the pickup sounds into the actual amp are decent. Are they mind-blowing? No. But they do the job. The modeling sounds are bargain basement, not great. The resolution isn't great. When you dial back the volume, you've got noise happening. The modeling is on the very most basic level, but it does the job. You're not supposed to record an album with it. You're not supposed to fill stadiums. You're supposed to noodle a bit. Get an idea in the park. Write a song with your friend, sitting down. He's got an acoustic, you got this, you know, you're jamming. I see, again, many uses for something like this. If you're into wooden electric guitars and the real deal, you might hate this idea. But I honestly do think, especially for beginners that don't have the biggest budget, and for people that want something where you don't plug in your amp and your thing, you have all the cables, you can literally just have this and have a good time. Take your phone, pump a jam track into it, and just noodle around. That absolutely works. So I think Enya's got something cool going here. I have something that's stuck in customs, which is very different. It's got keys here. I have no idea what's going to happen with that. We're going to look at that next whenever it arrives. It's been in customs for 2 weeks. But I do like this guitar for what it's supposed to be and in its price range. So, and yeah, I'm not saying that because they paid for this video, which I hope they do. I do like the concept. Will I play it? Will I use it? I don't necessarily have the uses in my life where I would... Actually, if I were to go on vacation, I would take this. However, on vacation, I don't want guitars because this is what I do all day long. So I'm not the target audience. But I can absolutely see who is and why they would buy it. I put links below. As always, please use them. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and animals at the end.